Hi guys, it is Erin or Gimme Yarn 418, and I am here with a Thank God It's Finished video, TGIF. In case you haven't noticed, they're not always going to be on Fridays. I did attempt to record yesterday, and my dubbing got so far off as the video went on that I couldn't even salvage it. So I went back to the old way that I record things, and Kristen and I are looking into a better way to record. So the lighting's not as great as it was yesterday, so I apologize. I wanted to say that being the new year, I'm going to do things a little bit differently. I will still be recording approximately twice a month or approximately every other week because that's the schedule that just works for me. The other thing is I have decided that I am going to break my TGIF videos into 3 parts. They'll all be recorded at the same time, but 3 parts. The first part is going to be finished objects. The second part is going to be my works in progress, and they could be knitting, crocheting, I don't loom much, or any other crafting that I'm working on. And the third section will be if I have any stash enhancement, which I'm hoping won't be too often because I am quite satisfied with my stash. I worked through a ton of stash last year, and I added quite a bit, but not as much as I've slowed down in how quickly and how much I'm buying things, and I'm using more of what I have. And the only time I really buy something is if I really need it to complete a project, or there is a project I don't have what I need to make it. I guess that's good English. But anyway, so yeah, I hope everybody had a wonderful holidays. We had a good time. Kristen and I celebrated from like Friday night of Christmas until Christmas night together, which was really nice because we spent Christmas Eve night and Christmas morning at my in-laws' house, and the rest of the time, you know, we don't really exchange gifts. We just get some cute little funny things. Oh, I should have brought it out here. But I got Kristen something that she always wanted as a child, which was I can show you. Hold on. Oh, it's going to be backwards. I got her the Snoopy snow cone maker, or machine. I don't know how they can call it a machine because, well, I guess in the 80s it probably was, like, high-tech. So she was so excited. She was jumping up and down, literally. And Kristen got me a Batman apron because I love Batman, and I have been known to say that I'm Batman. But that's okay. And we watched, you know, holiday movies, and we baked together, and it was a lot of fun. It was relaxing, and we gave the dogs a ton of toys, most of which have since been destroyed. But anyway, we had a great time, and I hope you did too. On New Year's Eve isn't a big day for us. We're not drinkers, we're not partiers, so we just had a low-key night at home, and then the next day, I don't think we got out of our pajamas. It was wonderful. So, without further ado, I will get into what I have finished. And maybe I'll go in order, like, I don't know. I'll just pick it up. I have stuff all around me, so I will just show you. I guess I'll start with this. I made some rice bags that you can put in the microwave. I guess you can put them in the freezer too, but I don't put them in the freezer. I use them because I have arthritis in my back. So I made a rice bag, and all this is you need 100% cotton fabric. You need 2 layers. Sewed it together and put some rice in it. And the green ones, I have 2. I also put cinnamon in, and it smells so good. And it heats up really nicely, and they're really easy to make. I will say, if you make these, I'm going to show you what you have to buy. You can't just use any rice you have laying around your house. You have to use, this is going to be backwards again. Hopefully I can fix it. Or maybe you can watch me in a mirror. I don't know. You have to use long grain rice, uncooked. So you can't use minute rice, you can't use boil in a bag rice. You have to use the real rice that takes like an hour to cook. I don't know, I've never really actually cooked real rice. Let's see. Oh, I guess it only takes 20 minutes. I don't know, I thought it took forever. So that's all you use. And I filled my bag about a third of the way, a little bit over a third of the way. I actually weighed it out yesterday because I'm that anal retentive, don't tell anybody, that I put in 520 grams per bag. So I made 2 green ones with cinnamon in them, and they smell so good, and I've been using them a lot. And this one isn't sewn shut yet, but I will show you. I made Kristen and Ohio State Buckeyes one, and this one isn't scented. Kristen is scent sensitive, so we just did plain. So that's that, and I'm just going to go over here so I don't spill rice all over my kitchen. The next thing I finished was for Kristen for Christmas. If you watch The Big Bang Theory, as soon as I hold this up, you will know who it is. Da, da, da. This is Sheldon Cooper, and I made this for Kristen for Christmas. Having a 7-month-old puppy helped a lot because I would get up at early, way before anybody should be up, and I would crochet because Molly would be up for the day, and I made her Sheldon, and he sits on her desk, and she really loves him. So yeah. This is a free pattern, and I'll put a link down in my show notes. The first bag I made, if you remember a while back, I made some hedgehogs. And I love making them. They're so addictive. I even bought their own separate needles so that I wouldn't have to keep switching out the cables. So I want to make more hedgehogs. But me being, retentive, like I said, just being picky, I don't know. My mother-in-law likes to tell me I need medication. But anyway, so me being me, I said, well, if I'm going to keep making hedgehogs and they have their own set of needles, then they need to have a hedgehog bag to live in when I'm working on them. Oh, I should not record on Sunday evenings. So I found some hedgehog fabric on Etsy, and I just made a square bottom hedgehog bag. Oh, I guess gotta break it in. So it's really simple. It's just a drawstring bag lined with a squared off bottom. And now I can make hedgehogs. Do you remember that blue sparkle fun fur I got? The holiday fun fur? That's what this is. That's what's next. I don't know what color I'm going to make his body, though. The next thing I sewed was another bag and another project bag. And this is it. It's a tote bag project bag. But it's a little bit different because it has a drawstring in the top so that your project will stay in. And again, it's lined. This one is far from perfect, but I know what I would like to do next time if I make another one. And I just have to say for the record that people who make, like, on Etsy that make these project bags, those bags are worth every single penny because these take forever. Or maybe I'm just slow. These bags take me like an hour and a half minimum to make. And sometimes I just want to be like, well, maybe I should just buy one. But I enjoy doing it. Would I enjoy doing it 50 times in a row? No, I wouldn't. So that was my next thing. The next finished object I have, you've seen before, are my socks for Kristen. These are knit out of Sakado yarn. I can't remember. I had the ball band, but it's gone. These are a smorgasbord sock. Say that 3 times fast. I used the pattern for the rounded toe. The sock is My Knitted Vanilla Heart socks. My Knitted Heart Vanilla socks. My Knitted Heart Vanilla socks. And the heel is the socks on a plain socks. So they're a little bit of everything. And I love them. They came out great. I actually just finished these last night, so they wouldn't have been in the video if I recorded, well, the one I recorded yesterday. Let me just put these up to the side. Next, I finished a pair of mittens that I started in September. These are the Rhinebeck mittens. They used to be a free pattern, but now they are a pay pattern. They were for a knit-along on Ravelry, and they are a heavily cabled mitten. And I started to make these when we were going to Rhinebeck. And I still could have gone to Rhinebeck, but we got Molly a few days before, and I made the executive decision that we were going to stay home, so they got pushed to the side. And when was it? On Christmas? Or the day before Christmas? Somewhere around Christmas, I said, I cannot start or touch anything until I finish these mittens. So I finished them. And Bruno Dump for Stump asked me, well, he said they were beautiful. And I agree, they are beautiful. Although I see a huge mistake right now. But that's okay. They're just for me. He asked me, were they worth it? And I said, to be honest, no. They took forever, and every single row was different. And by the time it was over, I wanted to poke my eyes out with the little teeny tiny knitting needles I was using. They're knit out of Cascade 220 Sport, the leftovers from my Rhinebeck sweater, my Saturn sweater. And you want to know the craziest part of it all is that I finished them, and I really liked them, and I was wearing them, and I turned to Kristen, and I said, you know, maybe I'll make a winter headband to wear with them. With the same cable. Am I masochistic? I don't know. So those are finished. The next thing I made on New Year's Day. I just needed to do something different. All my orders were finished. Southpaw was finished for until later that day. All my business was taken care of, and I just wanted to do something fun. So I knit this. This is knit out of Peyton Shetland Chunky, and the pattern is called Baby Sophisticate, a free pattern on Ravelry. And I knit it all in one day, and oh my god, it is so stinking cute! If you saw in the beginning, the picture, Dewey was actually modeling it because we don't have any little babies. I'm hoping that my sister and her husband have babies soon because Kristen and I can't have babies. So there we go. Isn't it adorable? I love it. I love it. And it's so easy. It's a seamless sweater. You knit all in one piece, and then you put the sleeves on the sleeve holes on waist yarn, and then you knit the sleeves afterwards. And the only other thing you do is you pick up, oh, I'm too low. You pick up around the button band and the collar, and you need to learn how to do, I got yarn in my mouth. You need to know how to do wrap and turns and how to pick up wrap and turns, which I didn't know how to do. I knew how to do a wrap and turn, but I had never had to pick them up before. Really easy. Don't not knit this because of wrap and turns. Tons of patterns, tons of videos on YouTube that you can use to learn how to do it. I think I used Knit Pearl Hunter. That's who I usually use. My next finished object was my Christmas Day knitting. This is called the For Good hat by Megan Williams of the Stockinette Zombies. All proceeds from this hat are being donated of the purchase price of this hat are going to the Women's Health Network. I think that's what it's called, but don't quote me. And just right before Christmas, this pattern had been out for just about a month, or maybe a little less or a little more, give or take. And she had already donated $2,013 to that organization. So this is the hat, and I love how it turned out. It fits me really well. If I could use the video from yesterday, you'd actually see me wearing it. It is kind of a diagonal basket weave is kind of what I would call it. And if I had thought this through ahead of time and read the pattern, I would have used a solid, if not, a less heavily variegated yarn or a solid yarn. This yarn I got from Z sent it to me, Zelda NRJ3. I can't remember what it's called. Yarn Bee Snowflake. That's what it's called. And I love the yarn and I love the hat, and I would probably knit this again. But like I said, I would use a solid or semi-solid yarn. And it fits me really well, so I like it. Maybe she can go over here. The last two things I was inspired by Amber. I can't remember her channel, but I will put a link down below. She knit a bunny blanket for a shower, a bunny buddy. I call them Binky Buddies. And in my brain, I had things going over and over again. My first thought was to do an owl because that was the first hat, like character hat I ever made. So I made an owl. And while this is my own pattern, there are tons of patterns out there, so go out there. You can do it. It's not that hard. They take a long time, but they're really easy. And I cheated. I didn't want to sew on eyes and a beak, so I used glue and felt. Cheater, cheater. But it's really cute. And I see a lot of these in my future. So before I made this one, I was thinking, I have a Bernese Mountain Dog hat. I bet I could make a Bernese Mountain Dog blanket buddy. Don't you know I did? I will say this was not the easiest thing I've ever made. Well, I mean, it wasn't hard, but I had to use sport weight black for some of it. I had to use DK weight. I had to use worsted weight. And I had, like, so many blacks all around me. And thankfully, they all matched. But here it is, and I'm really happy with it. I call it Benny the Binky Buddy because of Benny, the older Bernese Mountain Dog that my in-laws have. And she has fuzz all over him. Oh, man, what is that? Anyway, here he is. Isn't it so cute? And his little arms. And I don't know if you know Berners, but Berners have white, brown, black on their paws. So I did that on there too. And I think he is really adorable. What I did was I modified the Bernese Mountain Dog hat that I make. Shrunk it down, used teeny tiny yarn and a teeny tiny hook. The only thing I did not crochet was I used felt for the eyes. And I think it came out really stinking adorable. So that is all I have for finished objects. Next, I will show you works in progress, which yesterday I had 4 and today I only have 3. The first one I will show you is I am working on a hat for my mother-in-law. This is the Girl from Nantucket hat. It is a pay pattern on Ravelry. I will put a link down below. And this, you can see it. It has a nice diamond pattern, and that's achieved all by knits and crochets. And I am 22 rows from being done. I'm hoping to have this done tomorrow so she can pick it up and wear it. So you probably will not see this again. And the next 2 things I'm working on are sweaters. And I'm going to show you pictures of the sweaters. I'm going to attempt to show you pictures of the sweaters first. The first sweater I'm working on, I started and ripped out, started and ripped out, and then gave up. I said, I'm going to wait until after Christmas because I just had too much going on with Christmas knitting and getting ready for shows and all that. So, hold on. Don't mind my slurping. So the Dark and Stormy is a cardigan. It is heavily cabled. And you can see that larger cables go down the back with mini cables on the side. And the same mini cables go across the front. And it has, what I have learned, is a shawl collar. Very similar to the Baby Sophisticate. Let me see if I can show you the front at all. I will be making mine significantly longer because I am not a teeny tiny girl. So there you go. So I'll show you what I have done so far. This is knit out of wool from the sheep farm down the street, Yates, and I'm not very far at all. It's something that I really, really, really need to be able to concentrate on. So I will show you. There's the back so far. You can't see the cables because there's light coming through. Dang it. I don't know how you people do this on here. This is a lot harder than it looks. Yeah, so you can see the cables, and there's the mini cables. And then I've barely done any cables down the neckline. So that's that. I'm hoping to have this done mid-March at the earliest. This is going to be when I can devote my undivided attention to this. And I have tons of skeins of yarn, so tons of skeins of yarn. And my last project, I'm going to show you a picture again. I have it on my iPad here. This was my Christmas present. I got a mini iPad from Kristen's parents. This is the Stillwell, and I tried to knit. I didn't try. I started knitting this during Hurricane Sandy. I had pneumonia. I was on complete bed rest, and you probably shouldn't start knitting a sweater when you're on bed rest and have pneumonia, because I knit it for, I don't know, it looked like a circus tent, and I had to rip it all out. So I restarted again on New Year's Day, and this is what the sweater looks like. It has a nice color work at the yoke, at the bottom, and at the sleeves. I'm going to make my sleeves full sleeves. I don't like short sleeves like that. And I will show you what I have done on that. This is knit out of Yates wool again from down the street, and I'm a little ways into it. I still have ways to go. And I don't know if you can see the color. Yeah, the light's not as good today. You can't see it, so I guess you're just gonna have to take my word on it. I'm using a dark gray. I'll show you the yarn. I'm using a dark gray and teal for the color work, and I love it. And this one I hope to have done by March 1st. This one is a lot more stockinette. Once I get past the color work, it's just knit. I feel like I've talked a mile a minute in this video, but that's just the way I roll. Kristen says when I talk really fast, my Boston is coming out because I'm from Boston. But yeah, so that's it. So it is late on Sunday, and I'm going to go, and I will see you in approximately 2 weeks, and I hope until then you are all doing well, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.